10 out of 10. Good job, Steve.
All right. Maybe it's working now.
Well, it's definitely the right camera.
So, we decided to, I guess we can wait a second for people to actually be able to access this one instead, but
Oh, man.
so we decided to do this video as a live stream because some people said that these videos would be more fun if they were a live stream. So anyway, so
Feels like a Friday.
yeah, my days are all messed up. We
It's only Wednesday, sorry.
made it through Christmas.
One of them. I mean,
One of the Christmases.
the Christmas.
It rained all day
Mm-hmm.
and the day before, which is not very normal, customary for us.
We still have no snow. Usually we can sled by our kids' birthdays at the end of November.
It's always cold, at least. I mean, we might not have snow where we're at, but the ground's frozen.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely frozen. And
I saw people playing golf today. That is abnormal.
yeah. Anyway. So we got to spend some time with Krista's family. And that was fun. Got to eat some good food.
I liked it.
There's a lot of people. Our kids are all sick now. I mean, we've
To
been
be
sick.
fair, we came in sick.
We've been sick for like
We're
the
just
last
still sick.
month. So on. But I guess that's how it goes.
Surely people can relate.
Anyway, hello, Pilgrim Piper, Just Piping, Yardism, and Piper Wandering, Mike, Doug.
Howdy.
So, one of the things that we wanted to do, and I'm not sure how this is going to work, is that we wanted to do something not pipe related that Kristen really likes, and I like.
I was like, hey, we both like this.
Meaning is
I'm
like,
such
you
a
don't care
wuss.
about my tobaccos.
You're right.
But we were going to do a list of our top 10 beers for the year. And I think Krista was feeling a little self-conscious
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of her favorite beers are
Extremely local.
like you can't get it except for here. So
I am just very loyal to tiny craft breweries in my town.
and I figure that's fine. It doesn't matter. So a bunch of these beers you can't get unless you're come to Wisconsin. So I don't know that this is going to be very entertaining for anybody, or at least informative. But at least maybe you'll like the styles, like you can get to know the style of beer that we drink.
Or people can educate me and say, oh, you like this? Here's one that is more widely distributed that you like.
All right. In no particular order, my first beer is, oh, that's pretty washed out. I'm not sure how to fix that.
People have probably heard of
New Glarus, Totally Naked. So this is a Pilsner, I think, lager that is lighter. That's why it's totally naked. It doesn't have a lot of, it's pretty clean, crisp flavor. So this is like my go-to in the summer. And it's only a seasonal beer for New Glarus. So anyway, that's probably my most drank beer this year is the New Glarus Totally Naked. But it's the best when it's hot. Should I do mine and then you do yours, or you want to do one of yours and I do one of mine?
Oh, so unprepared. Okay, mine, I feel like I sort of put them in an order. My favorite beers are Maybach's, and our little brewery by us, Lazy Monk, makes a Maybach that I love to get every year and just try to stock up on it, but I usually burn through it pretty quickly.
Yeah, she doesn't anticipate her.
Here's a picture of somebody holding it. It's just...
Yeah, you can kind of see it. Maybe we just need to turn down the brightness on our phones a lot.
I love Maybach, and I feel like they make a good one. Thank you.
All right, my next one was, you really can't see that. Tip it. North Coast Brewing. They're out of California, I guess. Prankster. It's a Belgian ale. I really like Belgian ales, and unfortunately, a lot of the doubles or triples or quads are really popular, and I just like not any of that. I like just the regular Belgian, and this is the best one they can find, but you can't really find all that many. We had a local brewery that made another good one that I liked, but they just went out of business for not lack of interest in the business, but weird stuff. So
Silly
that's
reasons.
sad.
But I feel like that one's kind of like a triple because it's high ABV.
I don't know what is. I can't see what the ABV is.
It's like 7.5 at least.
Oh, well, it doesn't taste like double or triple.
My next one is from the same brewery, Lazy Monk. I also love Scottish ales. Scottish ales are usually in the wintertime. They make one. This is their little logo for the Scottish ale. He's like a happy little Lazy Monk guy. It's just nutty and a little roasty. Delicious. Not too high ABV. It's like 5.1.
All right. Next one I have is Boulevard Tank 7. Well, there you can kind of see it. Yeah, they're all probably going to be flipped. But so Tank 7, I think even Kevin Hobbiton Piper mentioned this beer in one of his videos of being like, it's fantastic. It's an American Saison is what they call it, and it's a higher ABV beer. It's like 7.8, but it's a little bit funky and tasty, a little bit hoppy-ish. I consider it hoppy. I'm sure people that like hoppy beers don't consider that, which you won't really find much IPA stuff on my list. I have one, but
oh shoot, me too.
we're not loyal to any particular IPA, and we drink them rarely.
Yeah, if someone gives it to me, I'll say thank you and drink it and maybe enjoy it, but I probably won't buy it. My number 3 is the same as yours, as you've already had. New Glarus Totally Naked. Summertime staple.
Yeah.
Easy drinker.
It's really good.
Lake days, boat days, beach days.
Now, the next beer that I have on the list is probably not very fair to put on the list. It is also a Boulevard beer. So I think these are out like St. Louis or something.
Oh, yeah.
Kansas City. I don't know. Maybe
Louis.
Kansas City. Probably says on here. I don't know. The Dank 7. And that is a Belgian IPA. Belgian style IPA. I really like Belgian beers. So pairing it with an IPA was fantastic. And it tasted so good. And they had it as a limited release. I'm really curious if that will come out next year. If it does, I'm definitely going to be getting some. It's very tasty.
Yeah,
but unfortunately, it was just a limited release beer. But it was good enough that made my list, even though I probably didn't have very much of it.
My next one, and I feel like it's maybe coming up on your list too, is a Marzen from Milwaukee, Lakefront Brewery. It's their Oktoberfest. This isn't the bottle or anything, but it's just a little decal.
I have the bottle. It's my next one too. So I don't know. I feel like with the craze of Oktoberfest, I was a little bit hesitant this year, since other years I really liked them, but I felt like maybe I've been burnt out by them. And I was enjoying, because they start coming out in like August now, early August, late July. And it's like, dude, I'm not ready for this. But I really have enjoyed the Oktoberfest this year. And it's all the way into December, and I'm still like, ooh, I want an Oktoberfest. And they're like all gone. And Lakefront, which is a really good brewery. I think this is the only one I have on the list, but I really like a lot of their beers.
Solid.
And they made a great Oktoberfest. So I will definitely be not trying quite as many next year with them. And the Lining Cools makes a pretty good one too. We just never got one of those this year.
I feel like we usually get a couple and then just stick to them because it feels like such a short window that you can drink it.
All right. My next one is, I don't know if you'll be able to see this.
Is that foreign beer?
Yeah, DuPont Saison. So these are considered a Belgian farmhouse ale. It's foreign beer. Usually it came in the bottles, but then we saw it in the cans, went crazy. But unfortunately, this beer is like $4 a can. So it's like super expensive, but it's so tasty. This is like up my alley completely. I love it so much.
I'm not drinking any of the beers. Sorry, I'm drinking a Manhattan and Steve is drinking water.
I am drinking water. I don't do alcohol and smoke at the same time. But I did have a Totally Naked with supper tonight. Yeah.
I should have brought up the can.
Yeah.
Proof.
I stocked up this summer because they kind of drop off after July. And I bought a bunch of 12 packs to try to get me through about this time frame, which I'm almost out of them. I think I only have like 3 left.
Manhattans are my favorite as well.
All right, what's your next one?
Another Lakefront. The Hop Gods. This is my IPA. I think I drank it in one of our videos. I'm not going to be able to see that. It's just their decal.
Yeah.
But it's an Imperial double dry hopped IPA. So it's a heavy girl.
No, there's so much.
But it's delicious. You like it too.
I like it too. It's kind of surprising because a lot of times you're scared off by bitterness, and you'd think an Imperial, which are like high ABV, lots of hops in the beer, that they would go even more bitter, but they usually offset it with yeast or
like
grains that they really back off on the bitterness.
I know I'll like a double dry hopped.
Yeah, well,
IPA.
like those better than just a regular IPA usually. So it's pretty good. But it's strong. It's like 8.5 or 9% or something.
Yep, it's big.
All right, my next one, which is my favorite 6 months out of the year beer, Left Hand Milk Stout Nitro. This beer is nitro pour, so it's kind of like Guinness for people that don't know what that is. Lots of little bit bubbles, but I really like this one way better than Guinness. It is roasty and silky smooth and just delicious. I love it so much. Chris was not real big fan of the nitro, but man, I drink this beer 6 months out of the year as probably my main beer.
Likes it too.
Yeah, this one's out of Colorado, so it's a little bit better distributed than some of the beers we're mentioning.
It freaks me out that the nitro is kind of freak me out. I like carbonation, I think.
Yeah, I like it this way. I remember one time Budweiser came out with a nitro for just a regular Budweiser, and that was an interesting experience. Yeah, it's crazy how much that nitro makes a difference.
Mm-hmm. My next one is More Brewing Bartlett Maybach, another Maybach. This is from Chicago, the Chicago area. More Brewing. These are all flipped. It's silly. I had it once or twice, but I loved it so much. I'm just going to have to stop there sometime.
Yeah, when we go to Michigan, we drive by their brewery. Mm-hmm. So we'll have to stop there sometime. We're usually racing back. It's not, yeah, I don't know. You can try it sometime.
Mm-hmm. It's just so good. So good. Our little beer and chew shop here carries some good beers.
And then my other favorite winter time, 6 months out of the year, beer are brown ales. I really like brown ales. And I have this other one from Florida, Cigar City Maduro. Excellent brown ale that is pretty easy for me to get a hold of. There's some other ones that are good. There was one that I liked even better. I think it's called the Brown Note from, what's it called? Some brewery out of Kentucky. But it was like twice as expensive, so I kind of settled with this one, and it's good.
Yeah, brown ales are your thing.
Yes, I like brown ales. Not all brown ales, but most brown ales.
I like the roasty toasty. I feel like they're kind of symbiotic with pipe smoking. The taste and the smells.
Yeah.
I really like triples. If it's high ABV, chances are I'm gonna like it.
Unless it's really dark.
Unless it's stout. Yeah. But New Belgium puts out a triple that's pretty widely distributed. New Belgium, you know them, you love them, from Colorado.
They're out of Colorado, yeah, too.
A Belgian style triple. It's delicious.
We went skiing once and someone knew the brewer,
yeah.
or
my brother-in-law's friend worked at New Belgium.
So they just were like, any beers you want, I'll just grab them from there.
Yeah.
And so we had all kinds of New Belgium beers. All right. The last two were kind of like harder to pick than the top 8. But this one I really like. Again, a Wisconsin beer, so sorry. But this is Tosi, and this is a Czech-style lager that they make. It's kind of interesting. This brewery came out of like a museum or something, and they sell all their beer non-for-profit. So it's kind of interesting. But their Pilsner is just my style. Like, so the Totally Naked is a little bit lighter. This is like just a step heavier, and it just hits the right note sometimes when Totally Naked is kind of like, this tastes a little too sweet and a little too light. This one fits in the other bill. Like, I'm always looking for this, and unfortunately, a lot of times the grocery stores are out on this beer, so it must be popular. I don't know. Or they don't get enough.
Mike, you're going to be disappointed. It's mostly Wisconsin.
Yeah. Sorry, we got a lot of good beer here. No need to go look in other parts of the country too often. So some of them are on the list.
I kept trying to think, like, when I go to the store, the like liquor store, which beers do I get that aren't Wisconsin? And it's tricky.
I think if we did mostly IPAs and we were into mostly IPAs, I think we would have a much more state diverse list.
Uh-huh.
But I think if we get breweries from out of state, they're IPAs. They don't carry the other types of beers that we like.
I was thinking a runner-up to my list was Allagash White, which is from Maine.
Yeah.
Was that kind of New England?
And they also make like a triple.
My next one is another Eau Claire beer, Lazy Monk Bière de Garde. I love a Bière de Garde, so if there's other ones out there. It's IBV. I'm gonna like it.
My last one is a foreign beer, actually. I don't think this is probably the best one. I think, what's the best? What's the
Great Lakes.
Great Lakes,
Dortmunder,
which I think that's
Michigan.
Great Lakes. The Dortmunder Lager. So I have access to DAB, which is a German Dortmunder beer. Real good. And this one is surprisingly really cheap, you know, like it's like a buck a can or whatever, which right now is pretty cheap for beer. Mm-hmm. So this is a really good one. But we also have a brewery called Bibulus that makes a Dortmunder that's very good too.
Yeah.
But they don't sell in cans or anything. So anyway, that was my number 10.
I still have 2 left. So
I know. I just skipped the lakefront since we talked about it.
Okay. The next one, Working Draft. What is that? That's Madison, probably.
Yes.
Doppelbox. Also love Doppelbox. Love my box. This is Working Draft's Doppelbock.
Really tasty brewery.
Mm-hmm.
Working Draft. They come out with a lot of good beers.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. I could drink that all the time. And then I threw a surprise in there because I really enjoyed drinking this summer. Another Wisconsin staple, Leinenkugel's. This is the Berry Weiss.
A lot of people like the summer shandy for Leinenkugel's.
Berry Weiss is big flavor.
It's like adjacent to that.
Sweet.
So it's like a sweet beer that's more raspberry and
I just bought it when we were like out on the boat all day, and I was just like drinking lagers after lagers. It's kind of a nice little break, something sweet.
Anyway, those are our favorite beers for anybody that actually cares about that sort of thing. We really like tasting stuff. As you can see, I really go towards the Belgian style. That's my favorite.
I've not tried Black Rock's beer, I don't think.
I don't know if I'm familiar with it. One of the breweries that we really like is Giant Jones. They're tiny, out of Madison.
They're right by Working Draft. So sometime I'm going to go and have a great day down there.
You like Earth Rider. They're up by Duluth, Minnesota. We didn't mention.
Yeah, it's right by Duluth.
What are some other ones that we really like to have? I don't know. We like Three Floyds or War Pigs. They're out of Indiana. Like Gumball Head and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know. What was the other topic that you had that you wanted to talk about? What you were going to say?
I can't remember.
I said write it down.
I think it was along the lines of like, I can't even think of the out-of-state beers that I get when I go to the store. It's overwhelming. There's so many beers, which is amazing because we love craft beers, obviously.
Yeah, I feel like other beers, like we also like some Minnesota ones like Surly and what's their other main one? I always forget the name of it. Anyway, otherwise Bell's Brewing out of Michigan's. We see a lot of those beers.
Bell's Oberon is really good in the summer, the wheat. I know you're not on that as much, but I like it.
Yeah, not as much. I do like wheat beers, but sometimes they always got something else in them.
It's juicy.
Yeah. But anything else? We just finished a TV series called The Railroad Men.
Yeah, either Railroad or Railway.
The Railroad Men. So it's about
Why doesn't like beer? Oh.
It's on Netflix, and it's about it's kind of a unknown to us tragedy that happened regarding a chemical company. So some U.S. company had set up some dealing with some chemical that's super dangerous, but it's used for farm croplands or whatever. And the facility was kind of going kaput, and it started to fail.
So it was in India. They set up
in India,
their plant.
And it was pretty dangerous, and the company didn't really do anything about it because they're losing money and didn't care. And then I guess like 15,000 people died as a result of a failure at the plant because it made a gas. What's the gas called? I forget. Anyway.
Yeah, the chemical mixed with water, and then there was a gas leak.
So
very intense show.
It was a very intense show. It was very frustrating. From
the liked Chernobyl, people like this.
Yeah, it's just a short series, so it's only like 5 episodes or something like that. It's definitely telling a story. It's kind of interesting how they tell the story because it's out of sequence, but it tells you like what sequence it's in, so it's not like a mystery. But I felt like it was the sort of show that I just said I wouldn't suggest for other people to watch because it's just such a feel bad experience. Not that it's not okay to feel bad, but normally people are looking for escape from feeling bad when they want to watch TV.
No, I was just talking about that today with my coworkers. I was like, I really like to watch shows that make me sad. I need to feel something. Usually I'm dead inside.
Yeah, well, I think it's well done, worth a watch, especially from, you could also probably, I don't know, what would it be called if you were to look it up without watching the show? Carbide chemical in, I don't know, I can't remember. It starts with a B.
BHOPAL.
Bhopal, India. Yeah.
Carbide.
Other things going on. Chris has been busier with your work, so you haven't made as many Christmas cookies. I guess I'm never really much of a help with that. But so that was kind of something that was different this Christmas. But we were able to have our Ukraine family friends over for the dinner, and that turned out great. We actually had a little bit of leftover prime rib.
I made one Christmas cookie. I made a peppermint Andy's mint cookie. That was it. But I usually make like sugar cookies, frosted sugar cookies, and like the candy cane cookies.
And the pretzels with the chocolate kiss and the M&M or whatever.
Mm-hmm. The kids like to make those. And the peanut butter blossoms with the chocolate in the middle. I'm just too busy. I don't know how people do it. I don't know how single moms work and then come home and cook and take care of their kids. And I have no idea how those people do it. I'm only working part-time.
Well, I am helping.
Yeah.
Just not making cookies. But we did get to have leftover. We put the leftover some prime rib on our pizza today because we ran out of pepperonis. And Krista was kind of disappointed. She'd rather have the pepperonis, but I like the prime rib pizza better.
I think pepperoni is the best topping ever invented.
Yeah, not the best.
I'm glad you put up with it when I make the pizza.
But the prime rib pizza, which we put also broccoli and onions on, it's pretty tasty. You should definitely try prime rib pizza.
The green bean casserole turned out great.
Yeah.
The seasoning was so good.
Yeah, I put some like unexpected seasonings in there because someone like gave suggestions of what I should do for this thing. And they had us put pepper in it and like a little bit of cayenne pepper and like nutmeg and what was it, ginger and onion powder or whatever. And so it had like a little bit of a spice to it. I like that. Yeah, I never had a green bean casserole with a little bit of heat in there, which it was really, really, really mild. But I think anything even really, really mild for Ukrainians is super spicy. So I don't know if they would have all dug any
Someone
amount of
asked
spice
how
in it.
they're doing. They're doing really well. They're both working and earning money and finding a little freedom in that. And
Yeah, I think that they're doing great. They have like connections of people that do speak Russian and stuff. Obviously, learning English is still like a huge barrier. Like, it's a long process, and some of them are learning it better than others. And
we still use our translator a lot.
It's pretty hard to have like more than basic conversation, but we're definitely to basic conversations in English with some of the family members. So yeah, it's good. Definitely gonna have to keep helping them, you know, through processes like coming up with tax season. They've never filed their taxes before, so I'm gonna have to help them with that, and whatever other sorts of things they need. So like we gave them our Suburban, and the Suburban like must have like blown a head gasket or something, cracked. Well, it seems to have like they just kind of were like, well, we're gonna just keep driving it until like it dies. And it seems to have like self-healed pretty well, that they're not having to add water in that hardly anymore. So they still driving that Suburban that I am surprised is still driving.
Our 2001 full-size Suburban is just limping along.
So that's a blessing in disguise.
Good for you.
Anyway, tobacco stuff. I did buy myself some tobaccos as a naughty self-giver. I bought some of the Anthology 2023. I don't plan on cracking this open for like a good 10 years because I think that's how long it's going to take for it to be tolerable for me. And I bought some more of the Warped Red Haunting.
Oh, I've seen that before.
I really like this a lot. And then I bought some more of the 4th generation 1931 flake since I enjoyed that so much. And what I'm smoking now is the Savinelli Brunello flake. And so I like, this is supposed to be tobacco that I'm smoking in my 10 blends for next year that I started on early. And I'm really, really liking it. So I bought a couple tins because this was the only tin of it that I had. So I think I bought like 2 more of it.
Sneak peek.
Yeah, off the craze. And then I bought another blend that was kind of hard to get that I haven't tried before, is the Wessex Red Flake. I really like Wessex, a lot of Wessex tobaccos, like the classic Virginia and what is it called? The Campaign Flake and the Gold Flake or Brick or something. So,
where did you find the Wessex?
I found the Wessex on tobaccopipes.com, I think. Yes, tobaccopipes.com is where I found it. Though I find that I have the best luck getting a hold of the Wessex blends at Mars Cigars. They're out of New York, I think. That's where traditionally I have. So I've kind of subscribed to their Facebook, and they will post on there when they get stuff, and I think they just don't have as many people watching them, so stuff stays a little bit longer. So that's a little inside into one place that I find it. I also feel like whatchamacallit, in Chicago, the famous tobacconist in Chicago, whatever that's called. Someone can tell me. Gosh, I can't remember. They usually have stuff available that they don't like send out emails and stuff. So when other people start getting it, you can kind of poke over there and look and see if they got some of
Is
it.
that the name?
Yeah, Iwan Reese. Yep. So you can kind of go over there. They're not going to be the cheapest, but if you're looking for stuff that's harder to get, that works. And they're kind of cool because they actually do the esotericas where you can sign up to subscribe or like sign up for notifications, and they only give notifications to like a specific group of people that can buy it, and then if you don't respond in X number of days, then they'll send out to more people. And so they slowly just work through the list. So if you plan on being a long-time pipe smoker and you like some of the esotericas, you might as well put yourself in the list, and then someday you might get an email saying, hey, it's your turn to buy some. I had that happen with one type, and that's how I found that all out. Mr. Carver is sharing his best tobacco fishing holes. Yes. Wow. There are so many people that are like fanatically hoarding tobacco to like resell it that anybody that's going to buy tobacco to smoke it, that's priority to get them the tobacco. That's not my intention to buy tobaccos to resell. But some stuff I'm going to have to get rid of just because it doesn't work for my palate. But I'm in no rush to do that. So, anyway. What else? How long has this stream been going? 36 minutes? A lot longer than videos normally would be, but. Okay, Yard isn't sure, Chad. You can give us topics to discuss. Are you willing to discuss topics? I take it that people can hear us all right, so that's good.
Yeah. I always have trouble with this. I was thinking about all the breweries that we visited. Like usually when we go on a trip, we seek out the breweries.
Yeah. Breweries are kind of like our way to socialize without the kids most of the time.
But we bring the kids to the breweries when we're traveling.
We have this non-brewery place, but a beer place that does like beer and cheese pairings and charcuterie boards and stuff like this. And they do a cheese club where you can go to their place and pick up like their specific weird, unique cheese and meat and nuts and stuff. And that's what I got Krista for Christmas. Was 6 months. So every other month you can go get a little cheese.
Yeah, baby.
Cheese package.
I'm so excited.
Most Wisconsin thing ever. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate each other's listening skills? Maybe we should answer that for each other. We've been married long enough.
You mean like I rate my listening skill?
No, you rate mine.
Yeah.
And then I rate yours. Oh, okay. Well, Krista's, I would say, is 7 or 8. I'd say you're pretty good. You're a pretty good listener.
Yeah. I'm solid.
Sometimes.
Uh-huh. We all have our moments where we're looking at our phones.
What am I?
I was going to say like a 5, but lately I've been repeating myself apparently, which is concerning. I will tell stories again and again, and Steve's like, you already told me this. You told me this already. Maybe he's lying, but I don't think he is.
No, I'm not.
So I feel like his listening skills are going up.
Well,
Maybe
see,
6.
there's a difference. So listening can be hey, are you paying attention to what I'm saying? Or you're not a good listener because you're only one talking.
Yeah,
Like,
your listening skills are circumstantial.
Yes.
Because I'll be like, hey, Steve, blah, 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 and then I'll wait for a second and be like, Steve, and then he'll tune in and
yes, I can only absorb one thing at a time, and sometimes it's people are talking to me like I should be able to readjust to them, and I just haven't because I'm really focused on something.
Yeah.
And then other times it's because I have ADD moment where I'm just kind of something else. My brain said, hey, I'm more important. And I go, okay, that's cool.
Yeah. I feel like earlier on I would have rated him lower, but I think you're getting better.
That's good. I probably am. I think
we just know
I
you
used
better
to be really bad.
And we're like, hey, we don't all snap at you, sorry. That's rude.
I don't know. Probably accurate.
Hey boy. Hey.
I feel bad that I have such a hard time retaining information too.
That's all right.
But did we miss anything else? Fail, Steve. Fail, safe. Tomorrow we're driving down to Indiana. See family briefly. Hopefully that goes well.
Second Christmas.
It's supposed to snow and rain all the way down, so hopefully we don't wreck a car.
I was talking about cars today because something was going wrong with my car, and not going wrong, but I just heard a little noise. And we were all talking about our cars and the junker cars we've had. And Steve and I both got new cars this year. We were just in the position to do that, and we've been enjoying our new cars. But I was thinking about like 7 years ago, our bicycles were worth more than our cars.
Mm-hmm.
we had those cars for many years.
Yeah. We had some nice bicycles, so it wasn't like $50 cars, but
they weren't $20,000 bicycles.
I know. I think we're like in the first time where we're like, we have two vehicles, and they're both like new, great shape, whatever. But we kind of had planned that with Suburban. We're like, this thing's going to die at some point. We need to replace it. So we're kind of saving money for that. But then the minivan that we had was having transmissions issues. And I think the computer in the car was causing transmission problems in specific situations that was ruining the transmission slowly. So it was just kind of like, okay, we just got to get rid of this car because the warranty is going to come off of this thing, and I don't want to have to keep replacing this transmission. Some of it might just be like situational, how we drive it, but it was totally the car's fault. It seemed to be when we sped up, when you increase speed after like holding a speed around 45 or 50 miles an hour, like going up a hill or something, that it would change the gears wrong and then start grinding. But you didn't notice that until, it's slowly happening, like 30,000 miles, 40,000 miles.
And we got that van in 2017. It was 2016 van, nothing should be wrong with it. A few things just went wrong where we were questioning the integrity of that van. We drove all the way from Alabama up here with our brakes sounding like an airplane was landing.
Yeah, we were basically metal on metal.
And
but at the same time, it happened right at the start of our we were driving all day that day.
We were driving 20 hours.
We were driving from like 5:30 in the morning to late at night, and it started happening at 6 o'clock in the morning. And so it was just like, well, let's just try to make this home and not just stop at a random place to get our brakes
It
changed.
hadn't been an issue. Hadn't been an issue at all. We just went down to that salty Alabama air and it ruined our brakes.
But the mechanic was like, you're so close to ruining so much more than just your rotors. It was like, yeah, but we didn't, right? So we got home and we got the brakes changed. Everything was fine. Almost not, but I had to try very hard to not brake. I think I was using even the gears in the car to brake at times because I was like, oh, I gotta not brake.
Hey, Charlie. It was lucky.
I think I would have tried to keep going with like lower quality vehicles because I have such a short commute. Like it wouldn't matter. But like used vehicle prices are just super high right now. So I didn't think it paid.
Yeah.
But some of it is, man, other vehicles, new vehicles, or prices are getting up there too. So whatever. At least my car should be, the current vehicle I have, get me through snow. That's usually a concern. I'll be at work and then it'll snow like 10 inches while I'm at work and then I gotta get home.
Yep, no doubt you can get home.
Well, is there anything else you guys want us to talk about? I don't mean to eat up everyone's life or time. I was concerned about the Nashville Mafia taking on their time slot, but I didn't see them on. I hope they're doing all right. I'm sure it's just normal stuff. What's snow?
We'll be in Indiana.
Who's cooking what for the New Year's? Well, we are going to my sister's for this New Year, Christmas. It's our Christmas. My sister is, I guess, a professional breaker, although like her own professional. Julie?
Baker.
That's what I said. What did I say? Maker?
Breaker?
Breaker? I said baker. So she'll be making pies and cinnamon rolls. I'm not sure about the rest of it. Oh, I guess we're eating steak. And we do this like cheesy cauliflower and whatever. Survey says breaker. Okay, well, I'm not even the one drinking it. It's the tobacco.
We had a beer at dinner.
Yeah, oh man. Mm.
Yes, she's a professional baker. When we went down there for Thanksgiving, she baked so many pies, and she always bakes, what are those things called?
Macaroons.
The French ones.
Yeah, they're too sweet for me. I don't like that.
And then we went over to her house the day after Thanksgiving, and she made at least 6 pies, but they were turkey pot pies. And then she had dessert on top of that.
That was really good. They were really
delicious.
good. Pot pie. Yeah, the turkey pot pies.
So now that your parents have moved to Indiana, they've kind of passed the cooking on to their daughters, Joy and Julie.
So New Year's Eve, I don't know. We're going to church this Sunday. After that, I suggested we cater something because we're all going to be coming back and everyone's going to be hungry. And I don't know.
So many.
My sister's kitchen isn't like one of my sister's kitchens is not the most amazing. Like it feels awkward just doing stuff in there. So it's hard for me to like suggest, I'm going to make this, I'm going to make that. So just ordering pizzas or something else would be easier. The artisan said, what's our favorite pie? Well, for me, my sister makes a pie called Derby pie.
Derby pie.
I never heard of it. We had a neighbor growing up that made these Derby pies, It's kind of like
I think it's just like a pecan caramel pie, but they add bourbon.
And
it's like the
dark chocolate.
Derby.
It's really good.
It's a secret recipe.
It's a secret recipe, so I don't really know what's in it. But my sister got it because they're all too far for her to deliver the pies now because we're in Indiana. And this lady's from Nebraska, so some point maybe I will get the recipe and I can make it myself. But what's your favorite pie?
Derby pie.
Yeah?
And never have I ever made a pie.
It's one of those pies where you gotta stick it in the microwave for like 15 seconds or 20 seconds. It's just
not when you're cooking it, but after it's baked.
After it's baked and it's cold, you want to eat it warm. So good.
Like the Canadian butter tart.
So it does have nuts, and it has chocolate, like I don't know if it's just chocolate chips, semi-sweet chocolate chips in it too.
And it has the flaky crust. It's not graham cracker crust.
That Canadian butter tart pie.
Carrot cake is delicious. I like that. And I hate carrots, but I love them in a cake.
Yeah, January seems like it's going to be another busy month. Our kids have a youth retreat thing for church that they do every winter. Only 2 of them are eligible to go, old enough. And then we'll be watching doing some respite for like a week. So that might be a very stressful week, or at least tiring. My birthday's later in January.
You have a birthday? Again?
And yeah, I don't know. Wrestling. Our youngest is in wrestling, and who knows? Maybe we try to make a tournament in January.
That'd be fun. Last year was our first year with wrestling tournaments.
Yeah, it's a big learning experience going to a wrestling tournament.
Right. It was my first time. You were a wrestler. I didn't know anything. It's hard and it's sad, and these boys cry so much, and it's so sad because they try so hard and then they get pinned or something bad happens and they get up and they cry.
It's a rough sport. And like a bunch of the kids are like operating on different levels. Luckily, they kind of pair them based off like what people said, but even still, it's a rough sport. And if you're not like ready for it, it can be a bit shocking. So like obviously all the kids that this is like their first tournament, it could be a bit shocking.
Yes, but even with the older kids, yes, so much heart. They're just trying so hard, and you put so much into it, and then you get pinned and you get up and just like exhausted and heartbroken.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Relax, Piper. Hello.
The first tournament, I took my son to it. Steve had influenza. He was so sick. And I was like, I got this. I'll figure it out. And we got
Didn't I have something else too?
All I know was the influenza. I got there and I was so overwhelmed and I didn't know what I was doing, and I'd never been to a wrestling tournament before and nobody told me anything, and I was just like too scared. So I called Steve and I was like, please come here. And he's like crawls out of bed. It's like, I'll come help you guys. I'm so sorry.
I was really sick. But it was good. I went. His first wrestling match, he got like poked in the eye or something. He was just bawling through the whole match and got pinned. And then it was trying to talk him up for the next match, and then he did better and he felt better. Like, but it was hard getting him prepared mentally for the next match. Being like, I don't want to do it.
Mhm.
I just got poked in the eye. It hurt so bad.
I know. We have such different parenting styles that I feel like it was good for us both to be there.
Kind of. I mean, we don't have that much different parenting styles.
I don't know. I feel like
Just maybe for wrestling.
that kid sucks. You're right. Everybody here sucks. Let's go home.
Yeah, you have compassion for them getting hurt.
Mhm.
Where I'm just kind of like, that's going to happen in this sport.
Mhm.
Get back up. Get back on the horse.
No crying in baseball. You crying?
Yeah. Well, we're rounding an hour. We're going to let everybody go. Appreciate everyone who was, I think we had 12 people watching us. That is a lot for a random pop-up. Appreciate
Mhm.
everyone. I hope that you have a wonderful New Year's and that your piping skills will just be so much better this next year than the last.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Life will be so much better next year. Don't worry.
Hope everything tastes better next year.
Tastes better. Everything. So, anyways, it was great. Great talking with y'all. Have a great night. And anybody who watches this later, no, this isn't a regular thing. We just did it this one time.
Yeah. Let us know your beer recommendations. And if I can get it, I'll find it.
Yeah. Yep. Bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.